Hey guys, it's Arlene from My Painter Ventures, and today I'm going to show you how to turn these plain little plastic canisters here into cute Halloween decor. So this one has a little mermaid skeleton on it with some sand at the bottom and some saltwater taffy. And then this one has some seaweed done with some gallery glass paint. So pretty simple. I already put these together and it's easy steps, so I'm just going to kind of walk you through it and give you some tips on how to get this to stick, because it took me several tries to finally get this right. So first things first is you're going to want to paint your sand on the bottom right here, the sand on the bottom, and that's really simple. All you need is some Mod Podge and sand and some paintbrush, and you can get all these things from Oriental Trading Company. So what you want to do basically is just take your Mod Podge and you're going to paint the bottom of your canister in a wavy design, or if you want to go straight, however you want to do it, and you're going to put sand over it, let it dry. You're going to do another coat of Mod Podge over that sand, and then you're going to do more sand on it and let that dry. And the final coat is going to be Mod Podge again to seal it. If you don't seal it, you're going to have a whole bunch of sand every time you touch this falling off onto your surface area, and nobody wants that. So make sure you seal it. And then moving on, going on to the mermaid. Okay, I had the hardest time getting this to stick onto the plastic container, because squish it like this, what happens is every time you grab it or hold it, it'll pop off. The mermaid will pop off if you just use hot glue. So while I was playing around, I figured out that you could use hot glue, and also I used this Aleene's The Ultimate Multi-Surface Adhesive. I'm out of frame, sorry. So on the head, the middle of the back, and also the tail portion here, you want to place some of this glue. And then, because you want it to hold quickly, you're going to place the hot glue either around the glue in the center of the head, and then down the back up until you put the ultimate glue, and even more down the tail, and then on the tail ends. So you have hot glue and you have the ultimate glue. Hot glue is just really to help hold it in place while the ultimate glue dries, because this one takes a little bit to dry. And then you're going to get your container and you're going to press it down and hold it there. You can also use rubber band and some painter's tape to help hold it in place also, so that it doesn't pop off. And you're going to want to let this dry for a full day to make sure the glue, especially the ultimate glue, is completely dry. So once that's done, you can take off the rubber band and the painter's tape, and you will get the mermaid stuck on this. And to get it to curve around, now this one came broken, so I was able to kind of make the mermaid swim in a sideward motion, but the hands actually come flat like this down. And in order to get it to move like this, all I did was I got the hot glue gun, and if you have a heat gun you could use that too, but I was a little bit afraid to use a heat gun because I was afraid it was going to melt the entire plastic. So I took the hot glue gun and I just held it at the joint for a little bit on the side to get it heated up. And then I was able to just bend the arm up. So I used the hot glue gun to just get the arms to move. The hip part, the mermaid that was swimming on the side was a little bit broken, so I was able to just move the hip portion. But this is pretty bendable. If you hold it in place for a little bit like this, the tail will curve. It won't stay, but if you glue it, it'll curve like that. And then same thing with the body. You can kind of like move it like this. Or you could kind of, if you wanted to, just break this part of the tail off and then move it that way. But you can definitely use heat from your glue gun to at least get some of the joints to move around. And then, so that's that. And then that's how you get this glued on. And just so you can see from the side, it's not absolutely perfect, but there is a lot of glue on this. You can see a lot of glue. So there's a combination of the ultimate glue and the glue gun to help hold this in place. And then to do the seaweed, I'm going to show you really quick how I did the seaweed. So let me get a blank canvas here. What you're going to use is you're going to use gallery glass, and the one that I'm using here is Kelly Green and Green Shimmer. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these containers and you're going to paint on your gallery glass color. And I don't really make any pattern, I just go for it. Now also there's a seam on the side, so you want to make sure that's not in the center of your, or the front of your container when you do this. Use your gallery glass paint and you're just going to make a zigzaggy wavy pattern like this, as long or as short as you want. Don't put too much pressure on the bottle because a lot of gallery glass paint will come out. And you just want to take your tip and drag some of the paint into the center. And if you have to squeeze a little bit more paint out, squeeze a little bit more paint. Okay, that was somebody in my house making smoothies. Sorry about that. But there you go. That's what it's going to look like. So you can continue making as much or as little seaweed as you want, making this zigzag pattern. And again, try not to use too much paint because otherwise it'll drip all over the place since this is a rounded object. So just use a little bit of paint. And anyway, you don't want it too thick because you do want this sheer. And I don't really follow any pattern. I just kind of make zigzags however I want. And just fill it in like that. Okay, and then when you let it dry, you're just going to leave it this way. And you're just going to let it dry. If you need to prop things on the side of it to keep it still, then do that. But when it dries, it just leaves a really nice sheer seaweed effect. So when you line up the skeleton and this together, it looks like a nice underwater scene. So I'll show you a picture of the finished product. But you could also put shells on the bottom, little mini starfish if you want. I chose to just leave it blank only because it's going to be handled a lot, and I'm afraid the starfish and the seashells might get in the way. But of course, if you want to do that, definitely add that. It doesn't hurt. And yeah, go to the blog. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the full tutorial, step-by-step images on the blog. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Check out my Pinterventures for more crafty goodness.